Hello, everybody. It's Janet DeBenedetto. I'm here by myself at first for the first time on my new talk show, Ignite Your Life. And I'm really super excited. I have on my friend Teresa Gannon. She is an intuitive messenger. I love that. Teresa and I, oh my God, she connects. So Teresa connects with God, her angels, and loved ones that have passed, and she connects with spirit. So welcome, Teresa. I'm excited you're here.
Hey.
Hello.
I was getting into the music.
I know. Isn't it cool? It's like,
I love
it. Jamming, right? How are you?
I'm good.
Yay. So everybody, this is my friend Teresa again. And so Teresa was one of my first friends when I moved to Long Island from Brooklyn, right, T?
Yes.
So excited. I'm so excited. So she was one of my first friends. We connected immediately, and we ended up going to high school together, and we like disconnected for a little while, right, T? And then
Which everybody does. Everybody goes a different path, and then we reconnect again.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a big deal. Like our 30th reunion, I think. Oh, we're dating ourselves.
Exactly.
Hi, Jessica. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deb.
We got some people here.
Yeah. So hi.
Put that down. Is that me? Is that me doing that?
No, it's them.
Okay.
Yeah. So everybody, I wanted to introduce Teresa, talk a little bit about Teresa's journey with connecting with spirit, connecting with her angels, how she speaks to God, and how she intuitively guides people and gives them messages that she gets so they can get it from their loved ones. Tell us a little bit. Yeah, so tell me a little bit. I want to hear a little bit about your journey of how you first. Thank you, Jessica.
Jessica is Mo's daughter.
Oh, hi, Jessica. Nice to meet you.
Give her big hugs.
Yes. So T, I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, how did you know, how old were you when you knew you had a special gift? And did you realize it? Like, tell me a little bit about your journey about understanding that you had a gift of connecting with spirit.
Okay. Well, I've had it my entire life. So it was just something that was just completely normal for me. And I was extremely close with my grandmother, and she just really encouraged me a lot. We used to go and visit my grandpa at the cemetery. And I can remember being little and just chatting and telling my grandma, this is what grandpa's saying, and this is what grandpa's saying. And it was just normal and natural for me to be able to hear and to see, loved ones who passed. So I would have these regular conversations with, angels and my grandpa in particular. And even when my great uncle passed away, who was like a grandpa to me, I could feel him and see him. And I would say, well, Uncle Benny said this. And it was normal because it was very much encouraged by my grandma and her sisters. And being that very strong Italian family, very super religious. I mean, I always keep my rosary beads, with me all the time for everything. It was just normal. It wasn't until I reached school age and I realized that the other kids couldn't see and hear what I could. So I just kind of was like, well, what's up with everybody? Don't you hear this or don't you see? And I realized, zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket, as my grandmother would say, like, they're going to think you're weird. Like, shh. So that's what I did. I just kind of kept real quiet. And it wasn't until after high school, I started to realize that I can kind of come into my own. And it was just privately with friends and family sort of a thing. And I used to just say, well, my gut's telling me, because it was really hard to, let people know, hey, I can see Uncle Joe over here. I can see Grandpa, people kind of look at you like, is she okay? So it wasn't until, I guess, I was reaching into my 20s and my 30s. And then by my 40s, it really started to intensify. and my kids were getting older, and I realized my kids could hear and see. So now I'm like, woo, it's going to the next generation here. And my daughter Sarah would say, oh, because we were looking at old family photos. She goes, oh, that's Aunt Rosie and that's Grandma Angel and that's it. And I'm going, say what? Like, how could you know? You've never seen these pictures. These people are my great aunts and uncles. So it was very interesting, to see that. So it kind of developed, and then I really just kind of started to shine after my kids were older. I mean, my youngest is 18, my oldest is 20. She just turned 26. I don't know how that's possible because I'm only 30, but but it's just, now is my time. It's all in that divine timing, and this is my time, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel blessed that God gave me this gift to be able to speak between and communicate between the two worlds. And I look at it as that it comes from spirit through spirit to spirit, and that I'm directly connected to God and the angels and Blessed Mother and loved ones. And it just flows. I just feel like I'm so blessed to have this gift, and being brought up strict Roman Catholic, going to Catholic school, and, that kind of chatter that you hear the nuns, but it's part of who I am. And my dad actually is first cousin to two of the cardinals that we had here in New York. So Cardinal Egan and Cardinal Cook are actually, I guess they would be my second cousins if they were my father's first cousins. And, we've got that in the family. So this is a good thing. I feel very blessed to have this gift and to be able to share with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, you're such a blessing to so many people, Teresa. I mean, obviously you've been a blessing to me, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but could you also explain to people like some of the other gifts that you have? Like, I know that you do some Reiki, right? And you do some you do angel card readings for people. Could you explain a little bit about that? Like how you do that?
Sure. Reiki is actually a Japanese technique that is used to help to relax your body and your mind, and it reduces stress, and it actually promotes healing. So I actually do that too. I just kind of rub my hands together. It's just like a life force from God. And I feel that with Reiki, you kind of hover your hands over, but with permission, when I like to call a soul family member. I don't like to use the word client. It sounds cold. So a soul family member will come to me, and I will lay my hands on them, and I feel so guided by God and the angels, and I feel like they just wrap themselves around me, and I just kind of hover my hands over, and I just feel exactly where healing needs to take place. Whether it be cancer, I can smell that, which is, I know where to go. So when someone comes to me for a healing, sometimes I ask them not to tell me anything, because I want to be that authentic. I want to be that, real for people. And it works. It truly works, because people come to me and they need a healing. They need help me. So it's all about just relaxing them, and I also incorporate, when I'm relaxing them, I vibe with different frequencies and sounds. So I may go on YouTube and find the right, the right vibration, and I utilize that. And I'll put that sound with a sound bar underneath the table, and I lay my hands, and it's just, the time goes so quickly, because I honestly feel that Archangel Raphael, who is God's healer, is always with me. Loved ones are always with me. Sometimes when I am laying my hands on, and I can hear loved ones for the person that and they're telling me, do this, or my hands are going where they need to go. And they could be burning, they could be hot, they could be tingly. Sometimes it feels like electric shock kind of a feeling. But knowing that this is coming from God through me, through my hands. And I pray for everything. I pray for Blessed Mother to shine her light on me. And I'm always protected by love and light, always protected by God, always protected by the angels. And I feel that they divinely guide me to where I need to be when I help. And I also incorporate my own sound healing, and I have my singing bowls that I love so much. And I use these singing bowls, and I actually got them. I want to plug out to Frank and Nikki from the Ohm Store. Totally love. These are made in Tibet, and it is part of what I do to incorporate. Everybody, each Reiki master has their own technique and strategy, and I am a go with the flow. I feel what the person who comes to me needs, and they guide me. So I'm simply the messenger. And that's what I tell people. I'm simply the messenger. And then I love to incorporate my angel cards, which I have lots of them. But for tonight, I only put 2 decks out. So I will use something like this, which maybe later on I can I'll pull a card or 2 just to see if anybody out there, it resonates for them. It might be kind of fun. And then I also use this deck, but I have many that I use. And the only reason why I use these cards, it's a validation. So whether it's a reading for someone who's trying to reach out to a loved one who's passed, or if it's just someone who's just looking for a healing, looking for some answers, looking for some guidance, every person is unique in why they come to me. And I go with that. And I really don't like people to tell me anything at all. I only see a first name. And I had one person that I did a reading for, and she goes, "Oh, she's the real deal. You didn't Facebook stalk me or anything." And I'm like, why would I don't have time for that. But I appreciate that people notice that, because I want to be my authentic self and just be me. And it seems to be working.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how do you determine which, is there some kind of guidance to?
I hear it.
No, I guess with which cards, how do you know how do you know, are you guided to which deck and what to use?
Absolutely. I mean, I've got various decks here. I've got, Doreen Virtue. I have Radley Valentine. I mean, I have another one from Radley. I use my favorite is another one. I mean, I can't show all of them because we'll be here all night, but Kyle Gray. I mean, it's just when I have a reading with someone, it's the vibration, and I'll feel it and I'll know, because I'm being guided by the angels and by God as to which deck I should use. And that's really how I go and flow.
Yeah. I mean, you've done them for me, and you've been spot on. You've given me guidance from my mom, from my brothers, my my aunt and uncle. And it's just so beautiful what you do, because it's validation that, sometimes you're on the right path, right?
Right.
And then there's other times that you get a message that you need to hear, and it gives you guidance. I mean, I guess one of my questions also would be, is there any type of messages that you get that somebody hasn't come to you? So let's say, somebody hasn't come to you. Do you get a message and do you feel the need to reach out to can you give us a little tip about that? How do you get a feeling from somebody?
Well, actually, I did a reading last week, and it was perfect. Everything was on spot, except for one portion. There was a fella playing guitar, and he's talking, he's strumming the guitar. It was like this whole thing about the guitar. And then he starts singing this song. So I just write everything down, and that's what I do. I have a notebook, and prior to a reading with anybody or a healing, I take notes from what I hear from God, from spirit, from angels, and I jot them down. And this one had me a little stumped, because the reading I was doing, it wasn't resonating. I said, that's okay, because sometimes it doesn't. Well, that night, another friend of mine reached out and mentioned about her. I think it was her brother-in-law or brother that passed. And I said, wait a minute. And I'm doing the song from the Beatles, my guitar gently weeps. And I couldn't get that out of my mind. So she's messaging me. So I messaged that to her back. And she's like, wait a minute. And I said, oh, hold up a minute. Let me get my notebook. And I looked at the notebook and I said, and I took a screenshot. I said, is this it? She goes, we're actually going to his wake right now. And then I guess the next day, she sent me another message from one of the guys in the band and said, those are the words to a song we were writing. So it's like sometimes people who have passed will pop into another reading to get the word out to the family. And it just happened to be the day he passed. So I'm doing a reading for somebody else, and this fella jumps in and he's showing me strumming the guitar, and I'm going, okay, you have to wait your turn here. And it was just like, okay, I'll get the message, but I don't know who it is. And then I can just say, my friend, I'm going to say, Lisa sent me a message saying, something. And then I just started saying it just, I don't even know how things kind of just melded together. And it was a message that was so necessary for that family that evening at the wake service that they were attending. So Spirit works in mysterious ways when they want to get a message across. And I just seem to be very blessed and lucky to be able to do that because they're guiding me. And I always tell people I am strictly the messenger. I'm strict. I don't decipher the message. I will pass it along. You do it at what you will. But that particular one was just kind of mind blowing. I was like, whoa, it was a double header that day. Mm-hmm. But it made everyone feel at ease. And it makes me feel really good that when people lose somebody, and I know how difficult that is because when I lost my mom, it was extremely difficult. But I know she's with me all the time and she talks to me all the time. But the only way I was really able to tap into that is when I went to other friends of mine who have the same gift. And we consider ourselves light workers. And sometimes you can't tap in all by yourself. You need that other light worker to flick that light on for you. So when we kind of help each other out, it really works. It works with kind of putting your porch light on, so to speak. And then I started to hear my mom full blast. It was just like, okay, now I cleared the cobwebs out. I gotcha. And sometimes you think, am I really hearing that? Or is it what I want to hear? And I have learned through some deep meditation and bringing in the angels and keeping that beautiful white and golden light surrounding me for each and every person that I will do a reading for or a healing, but especially for me, because before I get out of bed every morning, I say my prayers. I send my prayers out to all those who ask and request. I actually have a box where people do prayer requests, and I, whether they're here writing it down or I write it for them, and I pray. I pray for them each and every day. It's usually morning and evening when I do that before I rise. And then when I go back, it's like sunrise, sunset kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I feel the power of prayer is intense. It's intense and it works. And when you call upon Blessed Mother or Mother Mary, however you connect with her, prayers are answered. And I really feel very strongly about that prayers are answered.
Yeah.
You just have to ask.
Yeah. Teresa, how do you know, because let's give an example of one time when you came to me, because obviously we're friends. It's not like, do you remember that time when we happened to be together and you got a message from my mom? Like, how did you know that was my mom? How did you know the message was for me? Like, how do you know?
Because she came to me. This was incredible. That's the night that we were all getting together. Our group of friends, we were getting together that evening. And I could hear, go to Macy's, get yourself a blouse. I'm going, what? So I'm like, whatever. I just dismiss it. I'm walking around Macy's and I'm telling you, I thought I heard your mom. So I start talking back and this lady comes out from the other side. She goes, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, why are you telling me to get this blouse? She goes, I didn't say anything. And I'm like, excuse me? And she goes, really, are you okay? I said, oh, I'm good. So I'm still hearing her, get the blouse. And I'm going, it's $100. I'm not getting this blouse. She goes, go with the price check. Go with the price check. You know how your mom is. So I go check it. It's like $10. I'm like, that's impossible. No, it can't be. So then I'm walking to go check it out. I said, I'll just get this and she'll leave me alone. No, she wouldn't leave me alone. I had to get a second blouse. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go with this. It's Janet's mother. And I remember saying to myself, this is crazy because I never spend any like money on myself. So I'm pulling in the driveway. You call me. And you're like, hey, T, you coming out with us tonight? I said, yep, we're all going to meet at Charlevant. Yep, we're all going to go together. I said, but the craziest thing just happened to me. And I don't know if it was your mother's birthday, anniversary. Like, I don't know what it was. Your
birthday.
Oh my gosh.
I remember.
Wasn't that crazy? And when we met up, I said, what do you think? Your mom dressed me tonight. And it was just, and I knew it was her because she told me it was her. And it was just one of those things that you think you're kind of losing it. And, you know, people are looking at you in a strange way. And then I said, you know what? That's okay. I'm not going to see this lady again. But when I met up with you guys, I was just like, oh, what a crazy night. What a crazy night.
The best is though, like to me that night was like, I was actually missing her extra that night because it was her birthday.
Right.
When you told me that, I was like, wow, like, Mom, you're like here. And it was so obvious because she was so, like, for you guys that don't know, my mom worked at Macy's in Hampton Bays, New York, and she was like one of the pillars of there. Like she was there from the day that it was open. And she loved dressing people. Like that was like her thing. So when Teresa came and told me, I was like, that's my mom. Like I was like so excited.
Like, is this top me or what? And you're like, that's my mother. I'm like, I know your mother dressed me. Don't I look great? I'm like, oh, it was awesome. It was awesome.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And so for you guys that don't know a little bit, like I have some stuff going on in my life right now. Couple little things I'm juggling. And Teresa has this incredible gift. I guess, you know, also because we're friends, but she had this incredible gift on Friday. She felt that I needed to hear from her. And so we were going to do a reading this past Tuesday. And she was like, can you actually do it in a half an hour? And I was like, all right, I could do it. Right, T? So can you tell a little bit about that? Because that was like, to me, you were like, I got to do this now. Like you knew you needed to get me a message.
It was like, it was relentless. It was your mother. It was your father. It was your brother. Everybody was like, and your sister-in-law. And it was like a whole entourage. And I'm trying to just kind of like do a meditation, kind of chilling myself out and relaxing because I had a very busy morning and they weren't having it. They were like, okay, you're done. You rested long enough. You have to get her on the phone. So I'm just like, okay, made myself another cup of tea. And I text you and I said, this has got to happen now. I mean, like, can you do it in like 30 minutes? Mm-hmm. So I get all my candles set up. And because I always have my white candle going, I always have my rosary. I did all my prayers to Blessed Mother. I did this whole thing. And there's, it was just so important. And I don't remember all the messages. I mean, I have to like, because I have my book. Yeah. And I write for everybody. So it's just for you without getting too much personal. Oh, yes. I remember now. Breathe, my dear. And I think I text that to you at the moment.
You did.
And you were like, that's my mother. And there was something else I text to you and you said, that's my mother. And they wanted you to know. And they have like some personal things in here, but to let go and let God. And they also wanted you to know that you're never alone. Never. And do you want me to share the part about the embracing each day? Okay. Embrace each day as a beautiful sunrise and connect with God and Blessed Mother, angelic realm, and call upon everyone. And they also were telling me faith over fear. And fear, we don't take fear. Fear, if you break it down, is face everything and rise. And you were just so connecting with all of that, that you were just like, whoa. And it was just like everything else just kind of fell into place. And the vibe that I read from the book here, this is by Kyle Gray, Raise Your Vibration. Highly recommend. It's just spiritual connection. And I use this in my readings with people, in my healings, and I just kind of flick through the page and allow the angels to guide me, divine source, however people connect. And I just ask, what does Janet need to know? And it came up with vibe 66. And if I look at vibe 66, it'll tell you exactly, let's see, that you connected with getting good with God. And this is your vibe, getting good with God. So the source of creation is unconditional love. And you needed to hear that day. So for me not to reach out to you, and that was one of your other questions before, was how do you know the person? Well, because they were telling me reach out to Janet, and because I know you, it made it super easy to shoot you a text and say, hey girl, we got to go on, we got to chat. We got some things here. And you were just like right now. And I'm like, all right, 30 minutes, and we both got ourselves together, but they have no time frame. That's the thing. It's right now. And that's why I journal the thoughts and words that come from spirit, from our loved ones. And each person, before I actually talk with them or see them, it's validation, because there are things coming through that there is no way possible I could know. Spirit also has me, this is great. They had me wear blue tonight for some reason, blue. So I'm like, okay, I wear what they want me to. And remember I told you about the peacock? There was one about the peacock, and it was
Tell that story, Tay. I love that story.
Oh, it was a client, and I was getting like anxious, and I'm like, what is this? And I usually feel people before a reading. I know if they're anxious or if they're ill, or if there's something wrong with the stomach, a heart, loved ones that may pass from a heart attack. I feel it. It's empathic, and I really connect on that level. So this particular dad had me wear this. I got this as a gift. I get a lot of clients, I hate to call them soul family people. So this was gifted to me, and it has these peacocks on it. Okay, it's silk, it's beautiful, it's really hippie chicky-ish, which I get into at times, depending on my mood. But I had to wear it, and it was a validation specifically for the person I was reading. And it was just so spot on, everything. But I can't even believe I still had that in the closet hanging, because I was going to get rid of it. And my daughter was like, oh, Mom, really? You know how Sarah is. Seriously, Mom, you're going to wear that? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just put it in the closet. I don't know if I'm ever going to wear it. But I was so drawn to wearing that in particular. It was the validation that was so necessary, so out there, yet so necessary to give the closure and that feeling that her loved one was definitely with her, definitely. And it's just validation, really what it is, to let everyone know that there is a heaven, there is a beyond. Our loved ones are with us. They're always sending us signs and symbols and different things. Like you were you were talking about finding things as well. And it's just their way of staying connected to us. We need to be open to it. You need to be open. And when you open your heart and you allow it to flow, and, it's like what people say with the angels. An angel is near when you see a feather. Angels are near when feathers appear. And there are times when you see feathers everywhere. And sometimes people will discount it. They'll say, oh, that's because there's birds here or there's ducks. But there was a time specifically for me when I was going for a walk at the Quag Wildlife, and I was trying to feel my mom. And I'm like, I'm at this standstill in my life, Mom. I need some help. I need a sign. And then all of a sudden, I actually videoed it and posted on Facebook to validate. I had these ducks following me. And I'm going, okay, ducks. I'm like, ducks in a row. What is this? And then a little while later, as I'm walking on this path, there were white feathers everywhere. The entire path was covered, like sporadic, like not heavy, but just, a dusting of these white feathers. Absolutely incredible. I'm like, bam, got my sign. And it's like, you have to embrace it. And when our loved ones send us signs, embrace it and know that they are with us.
Yeah. I think I told you the other day about a feather after my brother had passed, right? I told the story about my brother had passed 2 August ago. And, I was feeling like extra heavy on my heart that one day, went to a different beach that I normally go to, right? And so it's great to be open because you could see it and it just feels so good. And I remember going to a different beach that day. And we always, went to Ponquag Beach. And this one day we went to Tiana Beach in East Quag. And I go upstairs to go into the bathroom. And I go into one of the stalls. And there was like no toilet paper in there or something. So I like went to this other one, right? I was like, and I go, and on the door was like, God has a plan for you. And it said something else. Like it had another thing, but I remember it said, God has a plan for you. And I was like, okay, thank you. And then I walked down the stairs to go back to the beach, and there's a big old white feather right at my feet. And I remember, like, I didn't really know the signs before about feathers, but my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, said, like, after it had passed, she kept seeing feathers. And I was like, and then I saw the feather. And then now all the time, I always see feathers. And I'm like, my brother's there. But also, after my brother had passed, some of my family members had given me this beautiful hydrangea tree in his memory to plant in my yard. So I plant the tree, and then the girls at my office gave me this beautiful butterfly. Oh my God, I felt it. My brother's presence when I saw Penny face up. Anna, that's interesting that you say that because one of my family members too, when her dad after her dad passed away, she kept finding pennies everywhere. She had never seen pennies before, and they were always pennies face up whenever she was thinking of her dad. That's interesting, so then the girls at my office gave me all this butterfly statue to put underneath the tree. And I'm telling you, whatever I'm thinking of, I sit there and all the red cardinals come, and they're like my mom and my brother, and I can feel them. And it's just, I look at it this way, even if it's not them, right? Like if people don't believe, like why, if it gives you peace and it makes you feel that your loved ones are with you, if that's something that works for you to bring you a little peace, like what's so bad about that, right?
Right. There are some people that try to find negativity. They can walk around, with that heaviness all the time. Mm-hmm. Or you can, like my grandma used to say, turn the frown upside down, always looking at the bright side. And no matter, everybody goes through their stuff, but it's always important to look at the bright side. It's always important to be positive. I like that whole positive vibes. Mm-hmm. And, I think if you just stay in, ask your angels for assistance when things are going down. Archangel Michael, mm-hmm. He is the protector. He carries that mighty sword. He removes and cuts cords of anything that no longer serves. You call upon him. There are tons of angels. I mean, we can do a whole thing just on angels, but Archangel Michael is the one who protects. And then you have Archangel Raphael, who is the God who heals. And oh, hi, Louise. Louise, from Ireland, one of my good friends. I love her. Thank you for being here, because in Ireland, they're 5 hours ahead of us.
Oh, she's staying up late for you. That's awesome.
She was texting me before. We're like this. She's such a good, thank you. She's so good. And yes, I did a reading for her with her dad coming through. And, it was just incredible. Like I reached out, like he's talking. I have to give you a message from your dad.
Mm.
So even with the time difference, it doesn't matter because, 5 hours here or there, but,
Exactly.
the message needs to be, passed along.
Yeah.
And I feel it's a calling.
Mm-hmm. Do you, Teresa, does it ever feel like heavy? Does it feel like a burden?
No,
No.
no.
What does it feel like for you?
I need to be balanced. And that's where the meditation comes in. Meditation comes in. I feel myself balanced and grounded, which is really important, to stay in that state of, we're just human and it is a gift from God. And I have been asked to pass these messages along to people. I've been asked to heal, and staying in the right frame of mind, without ego taking over. And that's the biggest thing. And I don't have those kind of issues, but it does feel sometimes a giant chat room. And I have to say, you need to respect me. I need to sleep now, because they used to wake me with all these messages. And I had so many journal books of messages coming through for different people. And I would just journal, at 3 a.m., just journaling. And then I'd say, I need to get some sleep. I have to wake the kids up at 6 for school, please. So it's that balance. And I've learned over the years how to do that. And it's strictly through meditation and I think it was just learning how to say, okay, it's time to shut down, zip myself up. And it's that protection that I put around myself, when I do a healing or a reading, or just even going to the store. I put that bubble of light around me saying, okay, I don't need to feel your stuff, because there were times I couldn't go into the store. I couldn't go anywhere because I could feel in just everybody's energy. And I have learned through other friends who share the gift, the how-tos. And once you get to that point where you can handle going into the store, I'm like, yeah, I got this now. Go ahead, bring it on. You want to crowd me? Go ahead. COVID or no COVID, mask, no mask, I don't care. But I do it. And there are times I have to say, I go, oh, I'm not feeling it. And I'll drive around a little bit and I'm going, do I feel it yet? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm okay. And it's like,
Wow.
I go to the beach a lot. I stare at the water. I'm like, okay, bring that Zen. And that's another thing. Don't mess with my Zen. There's like this thing about the Zen. I mean, there's another term for it, but we got to keep it friendly. You got to stay in that space of relaxation and not allowing, like you were saying, negative people and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Deb. Oh, we went to high school with Debbie.
Yes. Hi,
How
Deb. So happy you're here.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. Do you so like how do you protect yourself like that? Like what do you do? Is it just in prayer? How do you do that?
Prayer. I pray to Blessed Mother, and like I said, I have my rosaries. I have my grandpa's rosaries that I keep in the bedroom. I have these I keep with me all the time.
Right.
I actually wear these. These were actually from my good friend Joy Cummings from Ireland. She had sent away to Medjugorje. So these were prayers were said, and these were blessed on the Apparition Hill in Medjugorje. And Medjugorje, if people don't know, is where Blessed Mother appears. Wow. And it's on my list, and I think we should go. Okay. But she appears at Apparition Hill, and she has all of this things to say. She has messages for us, and all of these, prayers that we all give out to Blessed Mother, and praying for peace and praying for people to have kindness and world peace. It's like all of these things are coming out, and it's just so important to pray to Blessed Mother. I mean, really, honestly, and it's like this is a calling. And we felt it, and a bunch of my friends, and many of them are in Ireland, but some of them, like Tamsin, I doubt Tamsin's on here right now because she's in South Africa. But we have a group, and I asked you to join it, the Apostles of Love, Light, and Peace, and we pray the Rosary. So
Love it.
That's another side to it. So when, people of the negative try to say certain things, it's like, I just push them away. I just, it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve a purpose to kind of allow that to come into my bubble of love and light.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's really what I do. I protect myself. I ask Blessed Mother, each day to put a light around me and to protect me, my family, my friends, my loved ones. And I just kind of go down a whole list. And I always do this big prayer to St. Jude for those children, because no one deserves or should have any illness. And I send so much prayer with St. Jude over any child who has any kind of an illness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I wake up in the morning. Then I have my tea.
That's a beautiful way to wake up. I love that. T, you have such a gift of just calming people and making people feel so safe. It's just a beautiful thing. Would you do a card reading for us? Like, would you do something? Like, could you do a little
Sure.
something? And
Sure.
yeah, would you do? Yeah,
I could because I actually felt drawn to just pull right in front of everybody. And
okay, awesome.
This is how it works. I'm just going to pull a general, and I think if this resonates with you, definitely put it in the messaging, and just let us know if this resonates with you. And this is from A Pocket Full of Angels. And the author of this is Mary Jack. I should hold this up so everyone can see. And this is the deck that I use. And this is angel messages. Okay. Emotional release. It's time for you to allow yourself to release all those emotions that you have kept locked away. If tears of sorrow, hurt, or anger need to flow, let them. If you want to pour your heart out to the angels, they are listening too. All they want is for you to rediscover your inner serenity and peace of mind, and want to assist you with your emotional cleansing, as they know you will feel so much better once you have aired those hidden feelings. Mm-hmm. Release your emotions in a natural way. Your angels are waiting to carry them away. So I think, we're done with this. I will try to figure out how to post this on the page so people can see it. Mm-hmm. But it's about an emotional release. There's somebody that's holding on to so much, and you need to let go and let God.
Does it feel heavy to you, T? Like, can you feel like?
I feel somebody, yeah, because
okay.
I'm feeling somebody, whether they're here right now or watching in the replay.
Okay.
Yes, you need to release and ask your angels. Ask your angels. You don't have to call everybody out by name. You just call upon and just ask them to surround you and help you and guide you with this emotional release. Mm. Yeah, because once you do, you're going to have peace. So whatever this is, whether it's like some people like it's breakups or, however it relates to you, no matter what it is, don't keep it locked away. Release and let go and let God.
I just got the chills, like literally. I felt my body tingle. It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Jessica. Oh.
Hey, Jess.
Oh.
I know, Jess. I'm gonna come over and give you another hug. I promise. Oh, Louise. Oh, I'm feeling so heart heavy. Jess. I'll call you tomorrow.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Yes.
What you do, Teresa, it's such a blessing to so many people. I mean, it's a blessing to me, obviously. You've been such a gift to me, but
and I know there are times when I do readings and I will cry.
Mm-hmm.
I will cry and I can't help it. I'm going to do one more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're almost time to wrap the deal. So
Mm.
A child's love. Okay. A love between a parent and a child. I gotta hold it
Mm.
together. A love between a parent and a child is one of the most precious and deep connections we make during this time on earth. Children start out as a part of us, and from their first cries, they establish themselves as a bigger part of our hearts. And here we have the music. We have, to me, mother daughter.
Oh.
There's music. There's feathers. There's butterflies, transformation.
Oh.
Yes, this is very heavy. This is very heavy.
That's beautiful. And we know somebody's on here and
Yes.
lost her mom.
Yes. Yeah.
Just
And I send you so much love and so many big hugs. And I'm going to come over tomorrow and give you another one. Yes, Mike, your stepdad, Mike, is the music man. Yes. And that's the music. And that's the love. And know they are always with you. Hey, Dawn. Oh, another. Just know that they're always with us. Always. And I just want to give Jess just the biggest hug right now. But I want to thank you, Janet, so much for having me on, because I know our time is almost up. And if anyone would like a reading or a healing, they can just reach out to me on my Facebook page.
see, can you tell them how to can you give them your information to tell them how to get in touch with you, please?
Yes, it's Teresa Gannon, Spiritual Healer, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram. So things are linked and connected together. So they can find me that way. I don't have a webpage yet, working on it. I have someone working on it for me.
Can you say it one more time? Can you repeat it one more time, T?
Yes, it's Teresa Gannon, Spiritual Healer on Facebook. And you can just follow the link on there for the Instagram, because I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. It's terrible. But yes, it's on the Facebook.
It's amazing. T, it's just such a beautiful thing what you do. I'm like, oh, I just love it.
I love it too. I really do, because I love to see when someone comes on with me and they look, heart-wrenched, and then they begin with this glow, and you can start to see the light coming back into their face and their eyes, knowing that their loved one is definitely with them.
And Anna, she started crying. Anna, oh gosh, we're sending so many prayers. I saw you say, oh, thank you, Dawn. I saw you say your brother. So I can totally relate to that, because I lost both of my brothers. I lost one of my brothers about 24 years ago. And then I lost my other brother a year and a half ago. And then 6 months after that, we lost his wife. And she was like a sister to me. And she was just such a gift to me in so many different ways. I'm actually going to show you guys something I just did the other day. Very adventurous. I got this tattoo in honor of my sister-in-law, because the theme of her memorial service was Love Wins. And I just got it the other day. I was like, I just was feeling to get, she kept guiding me to get it. She guided me to get it. We talked about it when she was alive. And then when her memorial service, I just sat there and they kept talking. The pastor kept saying the term love wins. And that was her mantra. That was everything she embodied. And so for me, I was like, it kept tugging at me to do it. And I just kept putting it off. And then I was here in Florida. I was like, I have nothing else. Not that I have nothing else to do. I said, I'm going to find a place to do it. And a friend of mine recommended this place. And I went on Sunday, and I was like, I could actually feel her with me. Could literally feel her with me when I was doing it. It was like so cool. And I feel as though you're teaching me as well, but I feel like as I'm learning, I've taken some Reiki certifications and whatnot, but I'm tapping into it. And when you tap into it and you can feel it, like when you get those rushes, I call them, what do you call them? Angel bumps. And I feel it, and you're like, wow. And it's just such a beautiful thing, because it's so, it just makes you feel so good because you know they're with you, and it's
It's
just
that
such a wonderful
connection. You're connected.
connection.
Yeah. It's like heaven, earth, and you feel them in here. So, we're being
I
told.
can always feel them I always feel like my dad like on my left shoulder.
Yes.
Always like really close.
Absolutely. They're always with you. I mean, sometimes when you feel like, even when you're sleeping, you might feel like someone brushing your hair. Like sometimes I would feel like my mom used to do this to me and like just like scratch the top. And sometimes I go, was someone touching my head? But you know that they're always with us and they really do come in dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole other chit chat. And thank you, Louise, sending us blessings from Ireland.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all the thank you, Graham. I know I love it. It's just, you know what it is for me? I look at it and it's actually not only does it remind me of her, it's a constant reminder that when you come from a place of love, like even when you're in like a bad space, because sometimes you're in a bad space. Like now I feel like it's just going to be like love wins.
Mm-hmm.
What would love, one of my friends always says, has a term, what would love do? Like every time I actually have the bracelet, I have to get them and put them on, but it says, what would love do? So every time you forget, it's like, if you can remember what would love do, you know that your angels are with you, because what else are they but love, right? The symbol of love.
Exactly. And sometimes when you feel that warmth, or you might be walking somewhere and you like, I sometimes get breath on me and it's like, woo, or I see images, especially. I mean, tonight was just off the charts. I had the whole living room was filled. I mean, I knew my entourage of angels were with me and supporting me, because this was really a big kind of coming out kind of a thing, like to do this sort of thing. Cause I'm like a very private, quiet person.
I know.
Yeah.
I put you out of your comfort zone. I'm so happy. Yes.
Awesome coach. Hey, Jess. Oh, I love you.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Thank you, Graham. You guys are awesome. I love our Mercy family.
We have our Mercy family and our Southampton family too, because we got Graham. We got a couple people from school when we went to Catholic school in Southampton.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful.
What a big
thank you, big hug to you.
Welcome. Big hug. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. And like I said, if anybody wants to reach out, because I'm feeling some heavy heart here, if anybody wants to reach out for a reading or a healing, Teresa Gannon, Spiritual Healer, on Facebook or on Instagram. So that's the best way to reach me.
Awesome. Thank you, Tay.
Thank you so
much. You.
I love you too.
Thank you for stepping out of your comfort zone.
So we're getting together on this weekend, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love you. Oh my gosh. Is she amazing? Is she amazing? I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing. She has such a gift. She's got such a giant heart. And she's just been such a blessing. She's just been such a blessing thank you, Dawn. She's just been a wonderful friend. She's been such a blessing to me. And you guys, you got to reach out to her. If you want to get in touch with your loved ones, you're going to be so happy. She's just an amazing individual. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful night. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments. I'll check later on. And I love you guys. Have a great night. Thank you.
Coming up on this week's episode of The Chapters Wrap, featuring Steve Vaccaro, we have Valentina Yanek is an author of In Love and Friendship and From Fire to Freedom, president and founder of the Long Island Breakfast Club, The Long Island Breakfast Club Show is an organization providing referrals for small, medium, and large business owners, positivity, advocacy, support, career counseling for middle-income midlife job seekers, business networking, and socialpreneuring. And an exclusive chance to hear from Lisa Polisi from the Lisa Polisi Band. That's the Chapters Rap Network. Make sure to join us live to join the Love Train from 9 to 10 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook, and Channel 115, Mondays, 10 p.m. Optimum Television. Hit that subscribe button.